Hi guys, quick update on what happened. And by the way, it's probably not gonna be quick, but I'm just saying. Um, quick update, quick update on what happened with the car breakdown situation. Basically, I was correct with every single reasoning that I had. Um, the batteries are healthy. Again, I've got dual battery setup, which is hardcore. It's not anything to be underestimated for sure. It's all solid. I need to cross check and double check the health of the battery, like with a professional tool, and maybe I need to grab it, not only have that 12-volt meter thingy, like a professional battery health tool I need, I think, also to self-diagnose future, situations. And buy batteries pre-failure or service them or any of that sort. But also the other thing is, which is very important, that the 7 series module, 1 kilowatt module, which is nothing to underestimate, is going to be soon, um, basically, arriving. And as soon as it arrives, and the rest of the components, everything get fitted. I kind of have the vision already, even where the plug-in module is going to sit. The car is going to be totally sick. When I finish with all the upgrades, I keep saying that, but you have no fucking clue. And I keep getting better and better at planning, designing in my head, problem solving in my head, and executing in my head the whole setup. What else I want to say? So basically, well, a quick revision on what happened. So I was driving. Um, I decided to put some fuel. I was running low on fuel. I stopped, put fuel. Came back in car. Attempted to start the car. There was no lights, no emergency lights working. Nothing was working. The key was being recognized, and you could rotate it all the way to ignition. But there was literally the ignition system was cut off from supply of energy, which meant straight away one thing: if your batteries are healthy and supplying power on the leads, on the thick leads that go from the rear to the front, and then somewhere in the front you got loss of power, or maybe even the power doesn't even get, because I think the battery is connected to the rear fuse box. I need to cross-reference that part, and then from the rear fuse box to the power goes to the front. The way the setup is, without even cross-referencing for us, I think I might be wrong claiming that, because the leads are going looks like straight to the front. Otherwise, there will be a slightly different setup. Because by the way the Mercedes battery is positioned and where the fuse box is on the rear, maybe you've got set up where from the battery you've got two main, one big fat cable or fuse going from rear to front, because the bigger the distance, the bigger the thickness of the cable needs to be to not overheat and so on and so forth, to not have losses on the energy transferred over the cable, or also minimize them, because there is no way that you have zero losses regardless of how thick the wire was probably. But on the part where from that thick cable you got some leads going to the rear fuse box, which is, I believe, from my understanding, mainly for the tailgate, maybe at the best rear doors as well and that kind of stuff. But the thick cable, when it goes to the front, it gets redistributed to pretty much everything, to the ECU, to alternator. It gets connected to the alternator there, and through that same wire, you've got the current from alternator that's being generated, stored in the battery, but it travels through the big fat wires to the rear, to the battery. So that's pretty much the setup. So that's the setup, and that explains it, by the way, that confirms it. That's why you have main fuses in both fuse boxes, otherwise you have main fuse only in the rear fuse box. So the main fuses, I guess, depending on what caused faulty and where you got overheating on the leads, it just blows the fuse in that area. So it can be blown fuse in the rear, blow fuse in the front, and in that case it was on the front. And only, I think, when I restored all the fuses with new ones in the front, it's only then when we had, and when I disconnected the leads of the battery and reconnected them, I think I had to restart the system that way. Then when I disconnected and connected back to negative, I think, straight away I had like kind of an activation of the fuse box, because there is a click noise, and then lights go on, like on the rear side of the seat cars. You got some lights like when the boot is open, and obviously that needs to be the case to work on your battery and your fuse box. When the boot is open, there is a light on some C classes, probably most, that's positioned on the boot in such a way that when it's open, it literally faces towards the traffic upcoming, kindly. For example, when you parked side of the road, let's say in the emergency lane or whatever, and basically serves like as an additional warning light that there is a car park there. Let's say that you conserving battery and you don't want to get all the lights on the car, you just open the boot and use that small light to kind of still be visible on the road, which is very smart. So these are a few lessons. I'll probably have to create one more part because I've got on 2 minutes left on the 10-minute video length. And also I'll try to source some maybe better recording software without limits, so I can record long videos, because always when it's at the end I need to explain this, it's gonna cut off soon, that I'm gonna do a few parts and all that kind of crap, which annoys me to my core. Because I guess I've got so much more value to provide to save you money, time, and then like issues diagnosing what's wrong, by giving you the understanding of how the car works, specifically the W204. But for the most part, most of the stuff are applicable to other models and even other brands. The basic principles, the core principles. I'm gonna cut you off here and I'm gonna do part 2 in which you're gonna have, or rather part 3, because I've already done an update on it, and now I'm just giving you a follow-up update, and it's gonna be a third part as well. So I think that's part 2, and then it's gonna be part 3 as well. Cheers, guys. Yeah, the next part, I forgot to say, the next part is gonna be about tips and tricks, like that's gonna save you loads of money. So you might as well subscribe if you're like watching it just after being published, in order to get updated for when I upload the next part, if you don't want to miss out when it's published, to get notified for it and to get notified for future content. If you're liking what I'm doing, there's going to be some really good nuggets, which is very hard to find online, or it costs money to find it with testing. in real world.